Making headlines, the government decides to confer national awards to Hufas regardless of the rank. The construction minister attends a high-level meeting on the scheduled completion of the Tilamala Bridge project during his visit to India. And MMA reaffirms the capability of the government to service the upcoming external bond repayment in October 2024. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Hello and welcome to PSMNEWS in English with me, Utma Mahmood. The government decides to confer national awards to Hufas, individuals who have memorized the Holy Quran regardless of the rank. Speaking to PSMNEWS, Minister of Islamic Affairs Dr. Muhammad Shahim Ali Saeed stated that the national awards were previously conferred to Hufas who complete the memorization of the Holy Quran in the first rank. However, the minister announced the government's decision to award Hufas with the national awards regardless of the rank. He revealed that President Dr. Muhammad PSMNEWS gives a special priority to encourage individuals to memorize the Holy Quran. Following this decision, a total of 25 Hufas will receive the award this year, during the ceremony held to commemorate the day Maldives embraced Islam. This day falls on October 5th. Hufas have been awarded a special medal since the tenure of former President Maumoon Abdul Gayoom. The decision to only award Hufas who complete memorizing the Holy Quran at the highest level was made by the previous administration. The Maldives Monetary Authority (MMA) has reaffirmed the capability of the government to service the upcoming external bond repayment in October 2024 and extended complete assurance that the obligation will be met in full by the due date. In a statement made public by the authority, it stated that there remains no doubt that the MMA and the government of the Maldives, together with all related government institutions, will be able to meet all future external debt obligations. MMA's statement came following the credit rating action of the Maldives by Moody's rating. The statement read that the authority projects GDP growth to reach 4.9% in 2024 and expand to 6.5% in 2025. It also stated that the growth estimates are expected to be supported by the robust performance of the tourism sector, underpinned by the strong growth in tourist arrivals with the opening of the new arrival terminal at the Velana International Airport. Accordingly, MMA noted that by the end of August 2024, total tourist arrivals to the country have exceeded 1.3 million, observing a 10% increase relative to the corresponding period of 2023. Further, it was also noted that the average duration of tourist stay has risen by 7% in July 2024 when compared with July 2023. MMA also notes that at the end of August 2024, both the gross international reserves and net reserves have improved relative to the previous month. Accordingly, gross international reserves have increased from $395 million at the end of July 2024 to $444 million at the end of August 2024, while net reserves have improved to $61 million by the end of the month. Further, with the inclusion of the usable reserves and STF balance, the gross international reserves are expected to surpass the $606 million projected for the government budget 2024. With the aim of minimizing the challenges to maintaining exchange rate stability, MMA states that work is currently underway to reduce the surplus liquidity in the banking system by utilizing monetary instruments. MMA notes that it will commence open market operations this year to mop up the surplus liquidity. The statement also read that to overcome the challenges to the foreign exchange market, revisions to the monetary regulation will be announced during this month, which is expected to boost the amount of foreign currency entering the domestic banking system. Moody's changes the credit rating of the Maldives to Caa2, reflecting concerns of the country's growing debt levels. Moody's, a private financial ratings agency, adjusted the rating from CAA1 to CAA2, citing the significant rise in debt in recent years. The former government's printing of $519 million led to increased demand for foreign currency, making it challenging to maintain a stable exchange rate. The current government, however, has acknowledged the issues raised in Moody's report and is taking steps to address them. To improve the management of state-owned enterprises, the government has merged some companies and liquidated those operating at a loss. These measures have already started to positively affect the nation's reserves. The central bank has also expressed optimism, stating that these initiatives are likely to lead to further economic improvement and enhance reserve stability. Both official and usable reserves in the Maldives are on an upward trend. A total reserves stood at $444 million, up from $395 million in July by the end of last month. Minister of Construction and Infrastructure Dr. Abdullah Muttalib attends a high-level meeting on the scheduled completion of the Tilamali Bridge project during his visit to India.
Minister Dr. Muttalib co-chaired the 12th Joint Project Monitoring Committee meeting on the Tilamali Bridge alongside High Commissioner of India to the Maldives, Monu Mahavar. The meeting also included officials from various Maldivian ministries, Ministry of External Affairs of India, Exim Bank of India, and the contractors and consultants of the project. The meeting focused on ensuring the timely completion of the bridge, emphasizing the importance of accelerating progress. The Construction Ministry said that a total of 43.59% of the project has been completed, with a targeted completion date of March 31, 2026. The overall project is scheduled for completion by September 30, 2026, though the government aims to finish it by late 2025 or early 2026. The 6.7-kilometer bridge, which will connect 4 regions, has a budget exceeding $500 million. During his visit, Minister Dr. Muttalib toured the additionally driven intermediate tunnel, ADIT in Mumbai, a 7.1-kilometer undersea tunnel. The ministry also said that the visit to India will provide experiences in implementing projects in the Maldives.
Minister of Sports, Fitness and Recreation, Abdullah Rafu, emphasizes that the government will not interfere in the elections of sports associations, but noted that no association is above the laws of the Maldives. He made the statement in response to inquiries during a press conference held at the President's office.
Speaking at the press conference, Minister Rafiu stressed that no political influence would be exerted on association elections and that these organizations should operate as independent entities. He, however, clarified that if an association engages in illegal activity, the Sports Commission, which oversees these associations, will step in. Additionally, Minister Rafi also highlighted that all associations must adhere to the laws and regulations of the nation. He pointed out that some associations face legal challenges due to contradictions in their governing regulations, and that addressing these inconsistencies would provide long-term solutions. Recently, several sports associations in the Maldives have faced election-related issues, with elections being delayed and corruption cases under investigation. Meanwhile, Commissioner of Sports Mohammad Tolal said that the current government has not used any associations for political gain. He also attributed the recent issues within sports associations to unresolved matters that have been ignored for some time, leading to current actions being taken to ensure compliance with regulations. Additionally, Tolal said that the issues have surfaced due to conflicts between the Sports Act of the Maldives and the regulations of individual associations. He said that requests for amendments have already been submitted to the National Assembly for sports, and he expects regulatory changes soon. The Maldives has yet to establish a sports arbitration body under the Sports Act, despite the increasing number of disputes within sports associations.
Minister of Fisheries and Ocean Resources says that discussions were held to develop sports fishing harbors in 5 regions of the Maldives. The discussions were held between the Minister of Fisheries and Ocean Resources, Ahmad Shiam, and the Minister of Tourism, Ibrahim Faisal.
The meeting held to hold the discussion saw the Fisheries Minister sharing information on the 5 areas proposed for the development of sports fishing harbors. He also gave assurance that the Ministry of Fisheries and Ocean Resources will provide the Tourism Ministry with expert assistance. Meanwhile, Minister Faisal noted that the Ministry of Tourism will give its full cooperation to expedite the project. The development of sports fishing is part of President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu's initiative to promote the fisheries sector. It is also included in the government manifesto. The project aimed at facilitating sports fishing, which is becoming popular among the youth and will be implemented under the policy formulated by the President. The President attaches great importance to developing maricultural as an industry and increasing domestic production. Development of sports fishing harbors will further develop the fisheries and tourism sectors of the country.
A delegation from the government of the Maldives visits the Waste Management Siam facility in Thailand to explore advanced practices in sustainable waste management. During the visit, the Maldivian delegation closely examined the operations of the facility and learned about the innovative technologies and methods employed in recycling electronic waste. They also gained insights into the progress of Thailand in this sector. The Ministry of Climate Change, Environment and Energy, the knowledge acquired from this visit will be instrumental in enhancing the waste management system in the Maldives. The ministry aims to leverage this experience to tackle challenges related to electronic waste disposal. It also said that the visit is seen as a significant step in strengthening bilateral relations and facilitating the exchange of expertise in environmental protection between the two countries. Ministry of Climate Change, Environment and Energy states the government will be upgrading the weather observation network of the Maldives to global standards.
Signed by the Minister of Climate Change, Environment and Energy, Tariq Ibrahim. Under the agreement, an aid of $1.6 million will be provided to upgrade the weather observation network of the Maldives to the standard of the Global Basic Observation Network. The ministry noted that the project will include the upgradation of observation systems in 4 branches of the Maldives Meteorological Center Met Office established in 5 regions of the nation. As such, the weather observation systems in the branches in Hurule, Hanimadu, Kaddu and Addu City will be upgraded. The project will also include the development of an additional branch of the Met Office in Mafaru and repair works of the upper air radius node in the Met Office established in Addu City. The ministry stated that the United Nations Environment will provide equipment and training programs for the staff to maintain the systems for the next 4 years. Established in 1974, the Met Office celebrated its 50th anniversary on August 1st. The agency, which used to do weather forecast for 4 hours, now forecasts the weather for 24 hours. At the same time, branches of the Met Office have been established in 5 regions of the country.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Welfare signs an agreement with VC Group Private Limited to establish greenhouses on 5 northern islands as part of the Maldives Agribusiness Program MAP.
The agreement was signed by Finance Executive at the Agriculture Ministry, Fatima Shaya, and Managing Director of VC Group, Ismail Rashid. MAP is a joint initiative between the International Fund for Agriculture Development IFAD and the Government of the Maldives, spanning 26 islands across Halif, Hadal and Shavini atolls. So far, greenhouses have been constructed on 12 islands and some crops are already being cultivated. The new islands set to receive greenhouses are Kumundo and Hanimadu in Hadal Atoll and Bilefahi, Kanditimo and Fedo in Shavini Atoll. The agreement also includes training for locals on growing melons and cucumbers using greenhouse technology. Speaking at the signing ceremony, Minister of Agriculture and Animal Welfare Dr. Aishat Ramila emphasized the focus of the program on modern farming practices and engaging youth in agriculture. She also highlighted that current greenhouse projects are successfully cultivating melons and cucumbers, with plans to introduce new varieties such as tomatoes, capsicums and chilies. The MAP aims to promote climate-smart, sustainable agriculture and encourage farmers to adopt modern techniques that surpass traditional farming methods.
Faidirolan Corporation Limited has announces the completion of the structural works of all towers of Aman Udaris.
These towers are amongst the towers being developed by FDC in Hurumale Phase 2. The development of the towers are contracted to Kalpataru Projects International Limited (KPIL). Providing the latest updates of the development, Managing Director of FDC Hassan Maneh Umar stated that the finishing touches still remain. He expressed optimism regarding the completion of the towers expeditiously and hand over the units to the respective individuals as per the schedule. Furthermore, Manager Project Engineering of FDC, Muhammad Haikal Ibrahim, attributed the expedite completion of the structural works of the 16 towers to the aluminium frameworks construction method utilized in the development. Meanwhile, the project director of KPIL assured the strong quality of the towers as well. FDC is establishing a total of 32 towers with 4,000 housing units in Hurmale under the Geduru area scheme launched by the previous administration. The development of these towers were contracted in 2021 to two Indian companies, KPIL and National Buildings Construction Corporation Limited (NBCC). While KPIL has developed 16 towers under the name Amang Udaras, NBCC is developing the remaining 16 towers under the name Aman Dodi. FDC anticipates the completion of all the housing units during the first and second quarter of 2025.
Operations at Samsung Electronics plant in southern India were disrupted for a second day by hundreds of employees striking for higher wages in a rare episode of labor unrest for the South Korean company.
India's biggest consumer electronics company, Samsung counts the South Asian nation as a key growth market where it competes with the likes of LG Electronics, turning out everything from televisions and refrigerators to smartphones. The smaller of Samsung's two Indian factories, the strike-hit plant makes electronic products rather than the company's better-known smartphones. But it still contributes 20% to 30% of the company's annual revenue of $12 billion in India, according to two sources with direct knowledge of the matter. Posters with the words "indefinite strike" went up outside the factory in Sri Perumbudur near the city of Chennai, where hundreds of workers in company uniforms set up tents to shade them from the heat. About half of the factory's daily production was affected when many workers stayed away, and the protest continues to press their demands for higher wages, better hours and company recognition for the union. Samsung India did not respond to a request for the comment. One spokesperson said it actively engaged with workers to address any grievances they may have and comply with all laws and regulations. The strike comes ahead of India's festive season when consumers buy gifts or items for personal use lured by discounts offered by manufacturers. In South Korea, the 36,500 members of Samsung Electronics' biggest worker union, who have been demanding higher wages and benefits, held a strike for several days in July and August. In late July, however, the company said the action did not disrupt production there.
The 78th session of the UN General Assembly closes, concluding a tumultuous year in international diplomacy and underscoring the need for a collective resolve among nations to confront pressing challenges.
Secretary General Antonio Guterres said that the past year had been marked by continued poverty, inequality and conflict, emphasizing that it was also the hottest year on record. Addressing the session's final plenary meeting, he highlighted the hope and inspiration in what can be achieved if the global community works as one. He also applauded the leadership of Assembly President Denis Francis. Guterres reiterated that the UN and the multilateral system itself can only be as effective as member states' commitment allows. Addressing the Assembly for the final time in that capacity, President Denis Francis underscored the importance of unity, urging nations to confront global challenges with all available resources to build a more secure future. The outgoing GA president said that the world is undergoing unprecedented transformations driven by revolutions in artificial intelligence, digital technology, and scientific innovation, adding that these transformational breakthroughs hold the promise of a better tomorrow, offering enhanced standards of living and welfare for everyone, everywhere, but only if progress along this path is inclusive. The meeting also saw Philemon Yang, President-elect for the 79th session of the General Assembly, take the oath of the office of the President of the General Assembly. Yang declared he would perform his duties truthfully as Assembly President, acting in all loyalty, discretion and conscience. He committed to always exercising his authority as President in the best interest of the United Nations and in accordance with the UN Charter and Code of Ethics. President Dennis Francis then declared the 78th session closed and handed over the iconic gavel to President Yang.
That's it for now. Thank you for watching. Have a pleasant night ahead. Bye-bye.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا